Morning, it's Al. Wanted to do a quick how-to video on how to polish a rifle's chamber. I found this H&R handy rifle in 223 caliber, and it is extremely accurate. It's printing at 100 yards at about 3/4 of an inch. But I'm having an issue where the rounds won't eject sometimes, and that's because the chamber, I think, needs to be polished. That happened in a couple of the other single shot rifles that I had, whether they were from H&R or from Rossi. It's a fairly common thing, I think, because they're rushing these things, out of the factory. They're fairly inexpensive rifles, so I don't think they take a whole lot of time to take all the tooling marks out of the chambers, which makes it tough to eject. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do it. Essentially, all you're going to need are basic tools. A cleaning rod. In this particular case, a 223 case, dimensionally, it's about the size of a 357, it's a 35 caliber chamber. So we're going to use a polishing cloth, I guess, brush, I should say, for the 38 Special. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use soft scrub, which I've used before. It's a very, very mild abrasive. As you know, soft scrub in this form here, you have to shake it really good. It has some very small abrasive particles to clean bathroom tile and so on, which really has a ceramic glaze on top, and it has to be very mild so it doesn't scratch the tile and the porcelain or the toilet bowl and things like that, and provide a nice appearance. So what you want to do is you want to shake that up pretty good. You can probably put it in a lid of some sorts to make it easier. Dump it in there like that. Grab your brush, do this to it, right? Make sure it's well in there. Get you a drill, and then just chuck it in there really good. And all you're gonna do is just gonna push this in, and then just do this for a while. And make sure that you go up and down, because you don't want to have excessive force only in one place. You don't want to get this out around. You don't want an X shape. You don't want an oval shape. You kind of want to take your time with this. You can see some of it will come out of here. Just grab it, stick it in there in the chamber again. Right? And then just keep polishing and polishing. And you do this for a few minutes. And then when you're done with that, what you're going to do is you're going to get a 22 caliber, or a 25 caliber brush. This is for my 243. And you're going to wrap it in steel wool. But it has to be 4/0 or 5/0 steel wool, because all you want to do is polish the chamber. You don't want to take any material off. You just want to take the tooling marks off, right? And this doesn't take very long to do. So again, you put the material back in there, and you go back at it with the brush one more time. And you just do that for a few minutes. Alright, that's probably good enough. You don't want to get too aggressive with that stuff, even though it's pretty mild. I don't recommend you going at it excessively. If you feel you need some more polishing later on, you can always come back to it and polish a little bit more. I use old t-shirts and stuff like that to get all my work done on the bench. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 25 caliber cleaning brush or polishing brush. Get some 5/0 steel wool. Actually, this is 4/0 steel wool. Excuse me. And you want to kind of spread that out. You want to wrap a little bit over here. Cut off the excess. And then put it back in the chuck. And what you want to do is you want to stick it in there. And you want to roll it with your fingers so it goes in there really good. And this one, you want to put in there for a little bit longer, right? But make sure that you keep going up and down, because what you're going to do is steel wool, it's against steel, so you're going steel against steel. And what you want to do is just polish out those tool marks really good. And some of the abrasive that was in there from the soft scrub is actually going to help just a little bit with that. Again, keep going up and down. Take it out. What you may want to do is move a little bit more material back in as it compresses out. Because you want to put a little bit of friction into it. There we go. And as you do it, you'll see a lot of steel wool material will actually come out. And you don't want to get overly aggressive. You want to do this a little bit at a time. So you do this, you take it out, you shoot it 3, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. Make sure that the cases don't stick anymore into the gun. And if they don't, then you've done your job. And if they do, you knock that case out, you come back and you repeat this operation until it's done. But if you do this properly, you will end up with a very nice action with a chamber that's highly polished, that is concentric, that will give you excellent accuracy. And I think that's enough. So I'm going to now apply some break-free in here. There we go. And I'm going to follow that up with a brush and kind of clean that out. So I'm going to put a little bit of lube on that, like I did. And then I'm going to follow that up with some break-free powder solvent as well to push all the crud out, all of the shavings from the steel wool, as well as any material that is left from the soft scrub. All that stuff has got to come out of there really good. So, put this together here. Alright, so I put some oil in there already. Now we're going to brush that through. And when I brush it, I love this stuff here. The break-free powder blast is kind of an orange-based solution. And you want to get tons of that stuff in there, right? You want to clean that out really good. And it's dripping down to the bottom. And you always clean your rifle from the chamber out to the muzzle, never from the muzzle in, so you don't damage the crown and you don't affect your accuracy. I'm going to shoot a little more in here. Cannot put too much solvent in there and get that cleaned up. You always want to get that really, really cleaned up. Now in these particular rifles, the ejector is here, so you want to get that stuff in there really good. Brush it up, and then follow it up with an appropriate stiff brush. So here's a nylon stiff brush. Brush it up with that really good. These other teeth in there, get that in there really well. And then follow that up with a bronze brush. Now it's got all kinds of materials in there again, so you follow that out with it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to swab it, and that should pretty much do it. Take that out to the range, and I think hopefully that won't stick anymore. If it doesn't, I'm done. If it does, I come back and do it all over again. Alright. So I got some patches in here. Break off a little piece here. Put a little solvent on it. And then just push that bad boy through. There we go. Make sure it all came out. And you can see how dirty that is. Alright, so we continue doing this until that rifle bore is nice and clean. Do it a little more. I went in a little too easy, so I'm going to double it up this time. And I'm going to push it with the jag again. There we go. Now it's looking a lot better, as you can tell. That's a lot cleaner piece right there. Follow it up with the last one. Pull it out. Reverse it. Push it with the jag again. And there it is. That's fairly clean now. So what we're going to do now, and oh, by the way, when you use these kind of cleaning rods, I use a bronze rod. I don't use steel. Try not to use steel one. I know a lot of the people that have ARs will use steel on their barrels. Try not to use steel on steel. Use a softer metal. Make sure that you don't affect your rifling. That will affect your accuracy if you don't. Now I'm going to grab a different tip. Take that jag tip out. And I put a regular needle tip on there. Why? Because what I want to do now is make sure that my chamber that I just polished is actually nice and clean as well. And for that I need to be able to turn these around pretty good. So again, a little bit more break free on there, and then just swab that chamber really, really good. Make sure that it's nice and clean. If you need to, you grab a larger piece, poke it in there, stick it through, keep doing that. Make sure that is nice and clean. Make sure you get nothing. There you go, all the way through. That's a nice clean. That's a nice and clean pad there. So now we're ready to dry it up. And we're gonna oil it, and then we're done. Take it to the range. Make sure this thing's gonna shoot like a dream. Okay, so it's drying it up. I don't know if it's gonna go through with that big old patch on there. This is not wet. Guess I'm drying it up. Now the chamber is done. Take some of that material off, and let's see if I can get it through the barrel, because that's a 22 size versus a chamber being a 35 size. There we go. Nice and dry now. Now I'll take that other side, and I want to make sure I oil it up. I love break free. Been using it for years. Go ahead and dump that in there. Run it through a few times. Now you're gonna get oil in the chamber, and you don't want oil in the chamber because that's gonna make your cases stiff, and you could actually dent the case when you fire it. If there's an oil spot in there, it'll cause like a little oil bubble in there, and might dent your case. So follow the treatment to the dry patch in the chamber, and the chamber will always retain a little bit of a thin film of oil, but you don't want it oiled up from the operation that you just did on the barrel. So that's it. Chamber is now dry. Take it off the vise. This bad boy now should be good to go to the range, and I'll do a video on the report. I gotta do a little bit of cleaning here, but I think she should be good to go after this. I gotta oil the extractor a little bit, which I forgot to do, and hopefully that'll do it. So we'll make this the end of the video, and I will follow it up with you guys. Thanks. God bless.